Scorpio! Hi, I'm Desi. I love you. Welcome to my channel, Starchaeology Tarot. I'm so thrilled to be giving you a March reading. This is good for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I'm going to take a moment and call in your guides, Scorpio, your angels and archangels, your masters. What are the messages, Spirit, for our Scorpio collective today? This unique collective of individuals who have happened to find their way to this reading. What are the messages that will best align them with their highest selves, their highest good, their highest paths? What are the messages that will remind them of their own personal power and sovereignty over their every present moment and their future? Those are the messages we want today. What are the messages for Scorpio? The month of March. Scorpio. Ooh. We got 5 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups. Wow, Scorpio. It's an emotional time for you, huh? Scorpio, you are dealing with some... I just want to say, first of all, I have a lot of empathy for you, what I'm seeing in this reading. You're going through you're feeling grief this month over some kind of loss that you have gone through. Some kind of loss, some kind of grief. This could be a loss or grief that literally happens this month, but it could also be, being 5 of Cups, this could be a grief or loss that happened in the past that is simply making its simply surfacing in your life. Right now, it's resurfacing in your life, the pain that you feel from this past loss. Whether it's present or it is past, the pain is very much present, and the grieving is very much present. The mourning is very much present. Some of you are in like a state of mourning, like you feel like you owe it to someone that maybe you hurt or someone that you lost. You feel like you are in this state of mourning for them or for others, like for other people watching. Like, it's only right that I mourn this. It's only right that I grieve this appropriately. It could also be that you haven't really let yourself fully grieve. You've been so focused on moving yourself forward, progressing yourself, that and working on yourself very nobly, that maybe for some of you, the reason why this grief is resurfacing is because it's unfinished grief. It's grief that you never really let yourself feel in the first place, and sometimes it surfaces so that to give you a chance to really feel it and process it, and you start to, but then really you go put it back in its place, you know, when it starts to hurt too much. Whatever it is, Scorpio, you're finding yourself in this time of mourning, in this time of grieving, and wow, this is Very interesting. A lot of downloads are hitting me right now. What is the obstacle? I would love to hear, first of all, how this looks specifically for you, because this is, I don't even know how this could look in details in your life. What I'm seeing is the obstacle that you face this month isn't the grieving itself, it's certainty. It's a sense of certainty. So some of you, I think there's a lot of different interpretations for this. Some of you the obstacle is certainty about what your grief means. It's almost like certainty about the story that you're telling yourself around this event that made you grieve, that's putting you in mourning, that is causing you more suffering than the grief itself. It's like the certainty of it that is causing you, so that's your real obstacle. That's your challenge. Overcoming that, not overcoming grief, not beating grief. Your grief is well earned. Your grief is like, yeah, anyone would be grieving that, and you have to grieve that. Like that's normal to feel the way that you feel. But there's something about this certainty, or like it's like, yeah, it's just like a certainty, a lack of mystery, or a lack of space. It's like there's a certainty here about something that is standing in the way of your grief, maybe. Maybe it's a certainty about yourself, about that situation, about what that grief means, that story. So that's what it is for some of you. For others of you, if that was not resonant, you are feeling that the biggest obstacle is, again, not the grief itself. It's what you sacrificed for that situation. It's like accepting your sacrifices. It's being certain, like, I did what I could do. I did the best I could do in that situation. I had to sacrifice certain things. I had to do that. It's actually reaching certainty that is the struggle for you. That's the real obstacle, is that you feel so uncertain about what you did or what happened that there is still a part of you that's like, if I had just done this differently, this wouldn't have happened. And really what you're doing is undermining the certainty that you felt in that moment. Like, you're not having your past selves back, your past selves back. And so because you cannot connect with your own like inner certainty about yourself, about your goodness, about your intentions in those moments, it's keeping you in this constant state of grieving and mourning and pain and loss, because you can't accept the role you played in it. You can't accept, you're still like uncertain about yourself in it, about your own role in it. That's not saying like, you can recognize your role in something and be like, maybe that was a mistake. Or like looking back on it, like, if I could go back, I would do that differently. That's totally fine. That's totally understandable. That's what learning and growth is. It's holding yourself to that expectation before you ever learned that, before this thing happened that taught you that. And so you can say like, wow, next time this happens, I'm going to do this differently because I had the chance to learn this. But I am going to approach my past self with grace and say, I am certain that what I did in that moment was the best I could do with what I had and with what I was at the time. That's the kind of certainty in self. That's the kind of, that's what I mean about being certain in yourself versus being uncertain. like certain about who you are, about your intentions, about, it's almost like giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. If neither of those were resonant, one more interpretation for you, Scorpio. Scorpio, there was something like this for you last month, if I'm remembering correctly. Something like a good situation, and your obstacle was actually also something good. Or no. Your current situation was something like you were suffering, and there was something good that was like threatening that suffering. That was the conflict. That's also here. That's also, for some of you, it's like, it's that all over again. It's like your situation is suffering. Your situation is mourning, grieving the loss of something. I mean, we see it in this card alone without the Nine of Pentacles. Like, we see the two cups standing behind him still, and he's planted here. He's planted looking at the three that have fallen, and there's a chance he's never going to turn around and see those two cups. Nine of Pentacles is the two cups behind him. Nine of Pentacles is that two cups waiting to be noticed by you. It's like, you have success, you have this Nine of Pentacles success and achievement, evidence of your hard work paying back, like rewarding you in some way, like evidence of all your hard work paying off, and you reaping the benefits, like you harvesting all of this good, harvesting these grapes. You're harvesting all these blessings in March, and it's the harvesting of those blessings. It's like good things and success and achievement coming your way that is threatening your grief in March. It is threatening your mourning time, threatening your pain and heartbreak that you're experiencing. And so there's like a resistance to this goodness happening to you. What I want to say is, like, those things can coexist, Scorpio. You can acknowledge good things happening to you and be like, wow, I'm grateful for these good things happening to me. This is evidence of higher power in my life. I recognize that evidence. I recognize my blessings. I also really need to grieve this thing right now. And I'm allowed to have time to grieve this thing properly. Eight of Cups is the biggest advice, which is like, I think for many of you, the Five of Cups thing is something that's happened in the past, and it's time for you to leave it behind. I think for many of you, this could be that you are over attaching yourself to the Five of Cups grief. You are defining yourself by that Five of Cups grief. So the biggest piece of advice is to move on. I mean, in a way, to like, you have physically moved on. Allow your emotions to follow you. If you've spent enough time with that grief, trust that you've given the time that you need to it, that you've needed to give to it. You don't need to torture yourself forever. You don't deserve that. You don't need to do that as a test of goodwill, or a test of contrition, remorse. You're allowed to move on with your life. You're allowed to feel happy. You're allowed to experience success. And your life may be already moving in that direction. You have these physical things. Your physical world is changing and moving towards very good things. So it's like your emotions need to, you can let your, I don't want to say need, but you can let your emotions mature in that way as well. You can let your emotions, the journey of your emotions, like, go further down your emotional journey and move past this grief and pain. Others of you, the advice is a little bit different. There's a situation that you haven't necessarily left. Maybe it is a situation that is causing you grief and pain, and you have not left it, even though emotionally that it's wrong. Like, you know that it's not right for you and you need to move on. It's time to move on. It's time to honor your emotional intelligence and move on from that situation. It doesn't have to be some dramatic departure. It can be a quiet departure in the night, like something that is so internal, and it could be nothing more than an internal shift. Or something small, setting a boundary. It doesn't have to be like dramatic, like I'm saying, or big. It's just that something needs to be done to show that you are honoring your emotional intelligence, the part of you, the deep knowing that knows something isn't right for you in your current situation. And there is a change, even if it's just a small change, that needs to happen to show that you honor that you are listening to yourself and you're acting on it. I hope that's clear, Scorpio. I would love to hear how this looks specifically for you in your life, so feel free to comment below. Please like, subscribe, share this on social media, share this with friends and family, share this with your witchy friend who needs some love and support. I would be so grateful. Definitely check out my Patreon in the link below if you want to support me for a few dollars a month. The cost of a drink per month really goes a long way with helping me help you better. That's what I want to do. I want to be doing this all the time rather than a small part of my time. And I can't really do that without you guys. I really want to be doing more tarot videos, more readings, more different kinds of readings, a wider variety of readings, more specific readings. So I need your support in order to help me do that. So please consider becoming a patron and getting all the goodies that come along with being a patron. You can check that in the link below. I love you so much, Scorpio. I'm rooting for you as always, and I'll see you next time.